They got me again. It's all right. I've been waiting for these a while. All right, so here's how I'm formatting this video. I'm gonna unbox it. I'm gonna tell you what's new, and then I'm gonna test it, try it out, see how it fits, how's the sound, how's the noise cancellation, transparency, etc., 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 and give you my take. Here we go. All right, 4 ear tips. Extra, extra small, small, large. Cool. Fabricy. Okay, right off the bat, I'm noticing no physical button and the light indicator isn't there. So it's behind the actual like display. Mediums are on the AirPods. Ah, okay. So this is how they're gonna fit. So you cannot put old AirPod tips on these new ones. Cool. There's that heart rate sensor. And people ask, if I have an Apple Watch and AirPod Pro 3s, then when I'm working out, which one is it gonna take? It's actually gonna take both and give you the best score that it can. All right, so what's new with these? I'm gonna tell you, I have it pulled up right here. So with the AirPods Pro 3, quoting, slightly smaller internal architecture, redesigned geometry to improve stability and fit. English. This, instead of it being closer like on the exterior, it's more in the interior to go dig into that canal basically. And you already see that chip already trying to connect. All right, next, the ear tips themselves. Let me show you guys something. These right here are all the ear tips and accessories I had to use just to make the AirPod Pro 2nd gens work. You see these black pieces here? These are memory foam tips. And I needed them specifically because it's like, as memory foam does, it conforms to your ears. Then I find out Apple integrated some memory foam inside the new silicone ear tips. So hopefully I don't have to worry about this anymore. Hopefully these just work. It's like my only thing about Apple that like pissed me off. And it wasn't just like ear tips, like these never worked. I had to even use like these ear hooks, but they would never fit in the case. It was so annoying. The amount of money I spent on this stuff is insanity. I remember opening up my AirPods and someone asked me, are those fake? No, they're not fake. I just need them to freaking wear my AirPods so that they'd actually stay in my ear. Now, hopefully, I don't have to worry about that. We'll find out soon. Next, the pairing button on the back is replaced with a touch-sensitive pairing area on the front of the case. The old ones had an IP54 rating. Now they have an IP57 rating. So that's high resistance against dust and water, suitable for tougher conditions. I don't know what that means. I guess if you're maybe if you have hypohidrosis, which is excessive sweating. Same H2 chip, but it has updated acoustic architecture and algorithm, so the architecture of the actual AirPods fit better. Apple claims 2 times better noise cancellation in comparison to AirPods Pro 2. I think that's like the first time Apple actually finally compared something to something that was of the previous generation. The mic is better, the heart rate sensor that we spoke about, fitness tracking, live translation, which isn't native to these. It is on the AirPods Pro 2, but was released in the keynote with these headphones. Now with active noise cancellation on, you'll get 2 extra hours of battery life, so 8 hours instead of 6, and with transparency mode on, 10 hours. With the case, you have 24 hours total, which is interesting. But according to this, the case holds less total charge, but the earbuds live longer. So I'm gonna try it on. I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna give a live reaction of the noise cancellation, but then after that, I'm gonna just like play around with it and then give feedback, not like right off the bat, oh my God, they're so amazing. I'm gonna give it like a day. So I already knew the mediums were not gonna fit. So I wanted to start with the smalls instead of the extra smalls. So I put the smalls in and I tried them on, remembering how it felt last year, like when they used to like already feel like they would slip out when I would talk or smile. And this is my live reaction of me putting it on this year. Oh, much better. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Much better. It kind of hurt a little bit. Maybe because they're new. So at about this level of volume, oh, I can barely hear myself. At about this level of volume, I can't hear anything. I can't hear my snapping fingers. I can't hear nothing. So between half volume and 3/4 volume, like 50 and 70%, can't hear anything. Wow. That's actually pretty impressive. All right, so now we're gonna do a blend test. I'm gonna see how loud the music has to be with noise cancellation on until it just cancels out all the noise. I'm gonna be listening to a song on my iPad, blender on. So not full volume, but basically full volume. But to be fair, like, I'm talking about not hearing anything at all. And the song isn't even that insane. It's not like super loud, very bassy. Like, I intentionally picked something that wasn't, you know, heavy metal rock, but also random, you know. I just quick shuffle. And to be right next to the blender, very, very loud blender, and not hear anything basically at about 90% volume is kind of what my AirPods Pro 2nd Gen did. I'm not gonna lie. It's impressive, like, don't get me wrong, but I will say this, and I feel like this is a bit more of a fair metric, like how long did it take until it was like no longer unbearable. So obviously when the music was like off, it was unbearable. I heard it a little bit, like it was muffled out, like it wasn't as loud as it would be if I didn't have the headphones on. But at around like 65%, I had to start paying attention, like, do I still hear it, or is it like my mind playing tricks on me? But then after paying attention for like 10 seconds, I heard it, obviously. But after like 5 seconds, I was like, yeah, it's still blending, I hear it. But I think maybe because I was paying attention. Maybe if I wasn't paying attention, I may have not noticed it. And I honestly think that's true. Because oftentimes I'm in an area like at a gym, and I'll take out my headphone mid-set, and I hear like the music's loud and people are screaming and whatever. Like, I'm just like, well, I didn't even notice it was this loud in the gym. And my music isn't at full blast volume either. And that was today actually with the AirPods Pro 3. I actually think it did a better job of that because I really feel it like digging in my ear canal. I don't know how to explain it. You have to try it on to understand, but like you just like put it in. It does take a bit more effort to like actually put it in your ear, a little bit of twisting, turning, but like nothing crazy. Like even now I have them on, I have to like talk lower, I'm pretty sure, because everything is quieter than it seems. And when I turn on transparency, it's like they're not even in my ear. Well, that's kind of how it always was. So what's the most impressive, honestly, for me is the way they fit. They do fit a lot better. But that was more of like an extreme test, you know, like if you're washing dishes while watching a TikTok or a YouTube video and you have noise cancellation on, you're not going to hear the water, you're not going to hear anything. If someone's knocking on the door, you're not going to hear it. Like the ambient sound, like I said in the gym, didn't hear anything. So in terms of noise cancellation, we always knew it was good. What I was looking for was better fit, a little bit of better battery life, and it delivered. I would say it delivered. Before with my AirPods Pro 2, they would kind of just like come out. Now I feel like when I take these out and in, when I take it out especially, there is a little bit more resistance when I'm taking it out. Like it just feels more secure. So this part of the video is my fitness test. Here I am jumping rope with different variability. And what I'm testing is how long does it take until the AirPod actually falls out. So on the left, I'm wearing the AirPods with the small tips. And on the right, the next day, I'm wearing the AirPods with the extra small tips. And you could see after 1 minute and 7 seconds, the AirPods Pro with the small tips does fall out of my left ear. At the same time, the next day, after about 1 minute, I came up to the camera and checked to see like how the AirPods looking in my ear, because it does feel a little bit more like not secure, but it was, and it actually ended up lasting me for the rest of the workout. And I was happily impressed with that because that was the first time that's like actually ever happened. As much as I was inclined to like readjust, I told myself not to, and I didn't have to pick up an AirPod off the floor for the first time ever. So are the AirPods Pro 3 worth the upgrade? If you're coming from an AirPods Pro first generation, I would upgrade. I think the sound quality, the ANC, the water resistance, the transparency mode, all great reasons to upgrade. The battery life, the speaker, this being like a Find My AirTag type of tracker thing now, really hard to lose. I would upgrade. If you're coming from the 2nd gens, if for noise cancellation, no, honestly, I wouldn't. Just solely for that, you want better noise cancellation, it's really, in my opinion, doesn't make that much bigger of a difference. They were already good. But if you do want a better fit, yes, I would definitely upgrade because these fit much better. No need for memory foam tips. I'm very happy about that. There's a size for everyone, and it's definitely worth a shot. If you want to upgrade for that, you definitely could. The AirPods Pro 3 passed all my tests. Fit, sound, noise canceling, comfort. Either it's maintained how good it was before, or it got better. And in terms of fit, it definitely got better. And that's my review on the AirPods Pro 3rd gen.